Say it with me. Oblique equals 3 weeks. We've got good news and bad news in fantasy baseball. I'll show you how to get past your competition. Click that subscribe button, and here we go.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
All right, do you remember when we were younger and people would say, hey, Dr. Roto, you want the good news or the bad news? And you'd be like, all right, give me the bad news first. All right, I'm your doctor. I'll give you the bad news.
Give it to me straight, doctor. I can take it.
First thing I got to tell you is Drake Baldwin going on to the injured list just today with an oblique strain. So here's my take on this. Oblique, 3 weeks. Very little you could do about it. Baldwin was having a terrific all-star season, had 13 home runs, was the main cog for the Braves, but him being hurt, it's a big problem. Sean Murphy's hurt, so right now Sandy Leon looks to be the starting catcher, and that's a huge downgrade.
2 thumbs down.
Also some bad news for the Braves. If you have J.R. Ritchie, he was optioned to the minors after a rough outing the other day. Okay, speaking of catchers, Kyle Teel from the Chicago White Sox. If you remember, Kyle Teel was killing it for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. And then he injured his hamstring. So we knew it was going to be a little time. Just as he was rehabbing, what happened? He injured his knee. And now he's going to be out for the next 3 to 6 weeks. So just when you thought they were about seconds away from activating Kyle Teel, not going to happen. Drew Romo, Edgar Quero, those guys are going to be the catchers for the White Sox. Okay, next one, Corey Seager. Corey Seager was placed on the injured list with some inflammation in his lower back.
Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
This could last a little bit. You can have some back spasms. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's 2. Maybe he's feeling better one day and all of a sudden it acts up. I think with the warmer weather, that'll certainly help. Ezekiel Duran will be the starting shortstop, most likely. Maybe a little Josh Smith as well, but Seager on the injured list. MacKenzie Gore leaves the game for the Rangers. Speaking of the Rangers, MacKenzie Gore leaves with lat tightness. And look, he was a big part of the Rangers rotation. So more bad news for Rangers fans with MacKenzie Gore out of the lineup.
More bad news!
Couple more for you. I know, the hits keep on going. Blake Snell is going to have the same procedure on his elbow that Tariq Skubal did. Well, Blake Snell never can stay healthy. But sadly, this looks to be at least another probably 6 weeks. At this point, I think your best hope with Blake Snell is, hey, maybe he comes back for the playoffs like he does every year, and he pitches a couple of good innings here and a couple of good innings there. Let's see, do I have any more notes? I do. Royce Lewis finally sent down by the Minnesota Twins. Royce Lewis has just, between health and inconsistency, this guy should be way better than he is. But there might be a bit of good news here. Will the Twins finally promote Kalen Culpepper? I hope they do. A lot of us really want to see him in lineups. Will Culpepper get the call? We'll have to wait and see, but there's a good chance that it does happen. They needed to create a pathway for him, and now with Royce Lewis gone, Culpepper should emerge. With all the bad news, there has to be some good news, doesn't there? Of course there does. First of all, Colt Emerson gets the call for the Seattle Mariners. Now, there are a lot of good players in the minors, and Colt Emerson is certainly one of them. And in his first game, you know what he did? He hit a home run. Now, is he perfect? Not yet. He's going to be a great player. But there will be some, good days and some bad days and a lot of swing and miss days and trying to hit for too much power days. But if he's available in your league, please go get Colt Emerson. As long as Donovan is out, Emerson is in. And when Donovan returns, I don't know if I'm the Mariners, do I want J.P. Crawford as my shortstop or do I want Colt Emerson? It's all going to depend on how Emerson is playing at that time. If he's hot, there's no way that you're going to take him out of the lineup. I don't think so. Can't do it. Colt Emerson is your future. J.P. Crawford is your guy. Just a guy. Next one for you. Jacob Young got injured for the Washington Nationals, and that opens a pathway for Dylan Cruz. Now, Dylan Cruz is somebody that fantasy baseball managers have really liked. Why? Because he's got power and he's got speed. What he can't really do is put the bat on the ball.
Straight ball, I hit it very much. Curveball, bats are afraid.
The guy could be hitting 210, 215. If, however, Dylan Cruz finds a way to hit, I don't know, let's say 250, 260, you're looking at a potential star right here. So I think if you are in the middle of your team standings, in the league standings, you got to take a shot on Cruz. So if you're doing well in average, you could afford it. If you're already lower in average, you might not be able to handle it, because if he does hit 220 or less, it's really going to hurt you in that category. And once you're sunk, it's going to be hard to dig yourself back out. All right, two more guys. One, that the Baltimore Orioles activated Jackson Holliday. He didn't play the other day, but he's going to play this week. The Orioles need something. They need something in that lineup to get it going. Pete Alonso, Colby Mayo, Rushman, nobody's really hitting the ball. Hopefully Jackson Holliday can come back and provide that spark that the Baltimore Orioles so desperately need. They need somebody who can hit, and maybe Holliday is that guy. I don't know. It's rough, and that division is not a division you want to be in when you are not playing well offensively. Speaking of that division, the Yankees are going to get back Gerrit Cole this week. He's expected to be activated, and that's pretty exciting for Yankee fans, because a little bad news here, Max Fried is out. So now that Cole is back, at least you can withstand losing Fried, because without Fried and without Cole, you know that Yankee staff was looking rough. But Cole should be back at some point this week, and that's very exciting for Yankee fans. Also exciting for Yankee fans, Anthony Volpe is now back in the lineup, so that's good news there. If you've been rostering him, he went, I think he had 2 RBIs over the weekend, and he had 2 stolen bases the other day. If he could stay hot, maybe, just maybe, Jose Caballero becomes more of a utility player, even though the Yankees have said that Caballero is going to keep the job. Or maybe Volpe becomes that utility player, but I don't think so. I think Caballero can play all 3 positions. Volpe, you keep him at shortstop. Maybe you take him out later in the games. You take him out for a pinch runner. You take him out for defensive purposes, because he's a little rough out there defensively. So there you have it. Here's the problem with fantasy baseball. Everybody knows it. On any given day or in any given game, guys get injured. And when they get injured, they're not out for a night or two. They're out for like 2 weeks or 2 months. Drake Baldwin, that's a big loss for the Braves. You know, it's one thing when you have a lot of pitchers. So you could send J.R. Ritchie down. You have Didier Fuentes, you have Strider, you have guys in there that you could put in. But how do you replace Drake Baldwin? You don't. And how do you replace him as a fantasy baseball manager? You don't. You just try to withstand the damage for as long as you possibly can, and you hope that your team stays in it, so when Baldwin comes back, your team starts to thrive. All right, what do you think? Was there more good news? Was there more bad news? Let me know. Leave a comment. Love to hear what you're thinking. I'd also love you to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and stay tuned for more from Dr. Roto's YouTube channel. The office is closed, my friends. Be well and take care.